Hi everyone, Lisa Greatorex here, your queen of theme. And this week's movie theme night is all around Halloween. So I'm thinking that there's a lot of us probably stuck at home for Halloween this year, and you might want to do something a little bit different. This could be a really fun night for you, and one that you can get your children involved in or your grandchildren. You could do it with a few friends, you could do it with your spouse, you could do it by yourself. It's that much fun. So I'm going to start by showing you how I put together the atmosphere and then all the food stuff. So this is a really fun theme, starting with what's in this basket. So what I would suggest you do is, if you have kids you want to get involved in this, get a basket, fill it with items, and say, you guys go ahead and get this movie theme night ready to go, and give them something to do for a while. So what I have in the basket is we're going to start, I would suggest starting with maybe taking an old sheet and throwing that on your couch, or maybe even around a few chairs, just like they have in the haunted houses. You know how they always have those sheets? So start with that, and then what I'm going to do is I would take one of these like spider web things. We're going to put that, kind of drape it around the back of the couch and around the sides. You got to have the spider webs, right? To anchor that, what I'm going to do is I have this kind of mirror here that actually I bought at the dollar store. This is just one of these like peel and kind of, one of those kind of sticks on the mirror. You can take it off after. I think that's going to be really cool to hang up behind the couch, and then that'll be an anchor for the spider web. So you can stick that on any mirror. That'll be kind of fun to have. And then of course you want to do things like put out some rats and some bats. You got to be playing some tricks on the kids. So we'll put those out. I got some little cockroaches. Oh, something else that you want to do. Grab yourself a red light bulb or a green or a purple. It's really fun, creates great atmosphere if you take all the light bulbs out of the bulbs in your living room and replace them with these, and kids will really love that. And then I also picked up at the dollar store, I've got some dead looking flowers, and I'm not sure why I put this in here, but I'm thinking let's go see how we put this together, and then we'll come back and talk about the food. Now I want to talk about the food, and we'll start with drinks. So for the kiddos, you might do something like cider with a cinnamon stick. One of my favorite things to do, because they have no idea. This is a trick idea. I like to sugar the rims with black sugar. You just buy the black sugar, and then and I used a lime to get the sugar to stick to it, and then ruby red grapefruit. Now the part that's a trick, and I'm not going to fall for it this time, but when you take a sip of this, which I call a vampire kiss, by the way, their lips and their tongue all turn black, and it's kind of fun. I got in trouble with that one once. So if you want to turn that into an adult beverage, you could buy something like, there's, I don't even know what this is, and there's also one that comes in a skull, and that's kind of fun to do. So and then there's always like Pumpkinhead Ale and lots of different wine bottles that have some really cool Halloween labels on them. So that would be fun for drinks, just as some suggestions. Then for the appetizers first, the little snacks to have for the movie. One of the things I love to do, I do this every year. I always buy one of these cheese, orange cheese things. I don't even know what the brand is. You know what I'm talking about. It's covered with nuts. And what I do is take all the nuts off from it. So I just kind of, like I'm peeling an apple, scrape all the nuts, and then put it on in some plastic, and then take some kitchen twine and put that on there so that you tie it up a few times. I think I had like 4 strings on this. And then unwrap it. It already looks like a pumpkin. I love these kind of appetizers because they're really quick and you don't even have to have a recipe for it. It's just so easy. So put your little pumpkin on there, and one of the things I like to do is sprinkle it with poppy seeds or black sesame seeds. Looks kind of neat and festive. But then you're going to take the top from a pepper and just stick that right on the top of your little pumpkin. Isn't that cute? And then you could just put some crackers around it, or I love getting those beet chips because they're purple and orange. That's kind of fun to put around this too. So there's one appetizer. Another one that's really fun for kids is to make these cockroaches. Look at those. Can you see it up close here? I'll give you one. Look at that. Isn't that gross? So to make these, which taste delicious by the way, you take one of those, oh, I don't know how to pronounce it, these medjool dates. They need to be these because they're soft. And what you want to do is you want to cut one, just kind of split it with a knife, not in half, but just enough to make a slit. And then you're going to put in it some softened cream cheese and blue cheese. Mix that together, put that inside of it, then stick a nice salty almond in there, close it up. And what I do is I have these little cockroaches, plastic ones that I bought, and you can just stick these right on top of the cockroach. Just make sure that nobody eats the cockroach. Another quick appetizer to do is to take one of these little like witch's cauldrons and put some salsa in it. Now this salsa I have, look, it's in a chunk. It's coming out of my freezer, which I made a whole bunch of this year. It is so delicious. I have this recipe actually on my newsletter, so if you haven't signed up for that, make sure you do. There's a lot of fun stuff that comes in that. So I would take this, once I've thawed out the salsa, and then found these at Trader Joe's. I don't know if you can see them, but they're little leaves. How cute is that? That's like the quickest appetizer to do. Now for dinner, I thought I would show you a couple of quick options. This I just happened to see the other day when I was shopping at Aldi. It's black soybean pasta. So I'm thinking of using that, and they also had some pumpkin butternut squash pasta sauce. So there's a quick dinner to do during Halloween week. The one that I'm having tonight is one that I really love. I do this every year too around Halloween. So you carve out, or should I carve, you clean out a pumpkin and save the stuff that's inside of it, kind of scrape down some of the sides. And I've made this couscous that has, if you can see it, it has sausage in it, and onion, and has apples and cranberries, and it has Israeli couscous, which is the pearl couscous. And what I love about it, I don't know if you can see this, but there's orange speckles in it, so it really works nice for looking Halloween-like. So what you do is you just fill this pumpkin, and then I'm going to bake it in the oven for about 45 minutes. And it's so delicious, and it's just a really fun dinner to have. Then for dessert, what I thought I would do is, oh, I know what I have. I made these. I made whoopie pies. So one of the things from Maine is whoopie pies. We love our whoopie pies. And this isn't a traditional chocolate one. This is one that I made that is pumpkin spice, and it's filled with a cream cheese and maple filling that is wow. So I'm going for kind of like a nice dessert. If you want to be really scary, then what I would suggest you do, and by the way, the movie that I'm doing is, I have to pick what Jim has in his collection of videos, and we're watching Halloween, which I think is really scary. I was scared to death the first time. I'm probably going to be worse this time because I don't really watch scary movies anymore. And if you want to do a dessert for that though, I have a really great idea for you. Here's the idea. get one of these things. Actually, I have done for a really cool dessert, get a little cheesecake and get like a butcher knife or mini cheese knife that looks like a butcher knife and stick it right in the middle of it, and then use like a cherry filling. Just use the sauce and make it look bloody and just kind of drip it down the sides. And that's kind of a fun dessert that I've done before. That would probably be like more theme-like for this theme, but I'm gonna stick with the nice theme and the pumpkin. Also, one more thing, of course you're watching a movie, right? So even if you're not doing all of this, you could take a cauldron. I love these cauldrons. Take a cauldron and maybe sprinkle in it some, candy corn, and stick one of these mice in there. Doesn't that make kind of a fun Halloween movie, scary night? So kids will love that. And what else? Have I forgotten anything? I feel like that's been an awful lot. Oh, I do have one more thing. I'm thinking of scaring Jim when he comes through the door with isn't this the guy that was in Halloween? I don't even know what his name is. Actually, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, this looks really dumb. Really, doesn't it? Well, anyway, I hope that you've picked up some ideas from this and that you will enjoy having a Halloween night at home with the people that you love. And thanks for following. Thank you for all of your comments last week. I really enjoyed hearing from so many of you, and it just inspired me to keep theming. Am I scary?
You're unbelievably scary.